So I've had to sell things most of my adult life. As an entrepreneur, I particularly had to be good at selling in some way, shape, or form, whether it's just over the phone, face to face, whether it's in copy on email, whatever it is, I've had to have been good at the sales process. But that wasn't always the case. That wasn't always the case. In fact, one of the things that I'm most grateful for is that way back when I first started, I was diabolical. I was proper bad at selling. You see, what happened with me, I moved to the UK in from my original home on the Isle of Man. So I moved to mainland UK in about 2007. And I thought it'd be relatively easy to find a job. And then, of course, recession hit, and there was no work I could find anywhere. And I had to take my first ever sales job doing door to door sales for TV subscription for Sky TV in the middle of a British winter. And honestly, this was like 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, walking door to door. God, I had no life and I wasn't making any money. A good person would consistently do 2 sales a day, every single day. By the end of the week, they would hit 10 sales, which would mean a bonus. I hit 2 sales per day, maybe once a week if I was lucky. It was tough. It was really tough. And I was barely surviving, and I had to stay at my dad's. Then I got the opportunity to upgrade to telesales, where we basically had a booth, a telephone, and a period of time with which to do our work. And of course, we weren't allowed, in terms of our lead base, we weren't given leads. We actually had to research our own leads at home, bring them in the next day to maximize phone time. Now, what I did have, which was actually given to me during my door-to-door sales process, was an ethos, an ethic, a hard work ethic. I was just glad to have a roof and a seat. I was like, holy hell, this is luxury in comparison. So I would quite comfortably be one of the top in statistics in terms of time spent on the phone. But I was still struggling for sales. Thankfully, it was salaried at this point, and it wasn't a regular selling thing. This was like you were doing well if you were if you were selling once a week, you were incredible. If you were selling once a month, you're doing well. We had this thing called what was called the 8 weeklies. So as long as you had a sale within an 8-week period, your job wasn't in danger. You dropped off those 8 weeklies, all of a sudden, you were on the chopping block. So like a lot of the time for me, I was kind of barely holding on to the 8 weeklies. And I remember this one guy coming in, and I was gradually getting better for sure. Had some good periods, some low periods. But there was this one guy that came in, and he literally did a deal on his first day. A cold deal, which means he had someone on the phone, they bought there and then, contract went out, contract came back, 30 minutes later, he's just done his first deal. In his first morning on the job after his training. And I was slaving away, desperately trying to get sales, desperately trying to get commission. And he just came in and did that. It was crazy. I even had a colleague who, like me, actually didn't do a deal for his first year. I don't know how he didn't get fired. People loved him. That was true. He, great guy. But he didn't do a deal for his entire first year. But what happened over time is that this guy that came in and did a deal on his first day, he quit. He didn't make any more sales after that. He really struggled. And he ended up, I can't remember whether he quit, whether he was fired. I don't remember, but he really, really struggled after that. Whereas my friend, my other friend, who hadn't made a sale in his entire first year, became the top salesperson in the company and would later go on to become sales director and then VP of sales. I myself got significantly better. It took me a long time to get better. It was a slow process, but I got better. And now, as I'm kind of selling within my own business, I barely need to hold on to a structure because I've developed so many different skills that I can just be comfortable within the environment of selling, particularly over the phone. And the reason that that is the case is because I wasn't given any breakthroughs. I wasn't handed any gifts. I had to learn everything the hard way. I had to earn everything the hard way. So in order to improve, I had to listen to podcasts externally. I had to listen to audiobooks on selling. I had to start kind of writing scripts. I had to track my own metrics. I had to learn how to track my own metrics. I had to learn, for example, that if I had 2 or 3 bad sales calls, to not overreact to those 2 or 3 bad sales calls. Do a minimum of 10 and then do a change, because then at least you've got something to work with. 3 bad sales calls might just be 3 people in a bad mood that you've just got unlucky with. 10 is a difference. I had to learn things like that. I had to learn how to track myself. I had to learn how to create a routine every day so that I could be ready for each and every call. I had to learn how to digest every call so I could pick up on bits where I was making mistakes. I had to learn how to listen to myself back to pick up those. I had to change my accent in so many different ways. I had to change the way that I was saying it. And all of this over time gave me access to a place where I'm now, where I'm incredibly comfortable in the sales process. I don't fear my ability to sell. I don't fear having to sell. I don't feel like I have to convince people. I don't feel like I have to convince people to buy something that they're not ready for. I can feel 100% comfortable that I can convince the right person to buy the right thing when it's right for them. So I can move into a service selling model because I have complete confidence in my own ability to be able to identify when someone is right for the thing and being able to guide them to the thing. It doesn't work every time, but I'm okay with that. Because just because I've gotten to a decent place now where I'm confident doesn't mean that I stop growing. And that's the thing. That's the thing. It's the learning journey. And that's what the growth mindset is. So do not fear if you've been doing something for a while. Do not fear if you weren't good at the start. Do not fear if you're lagging behind everybody else. Because it's not because you're bad at it. It's not because you weren't given any gifts of ability. It's probably because you're going to be better than all of them because you're learning the lessons, whereas they're getting the gifts. Keep learning. It's the only way to live. It really is the only way to live. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye!